here to introduce Bill Shields with Aero Documents. I ran into you and some friends yesterday, and you guys basically said, you're starting something new, and it was interesting and exciting, and I said, okay, put up or shut up, and here we go.
Well, thanks for the time. I appreciate being here. Yeah, the gentleman that introduced us has worked with me for...
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Van Dartis has worked with me for 20 years, off and on. My name is Bill Shields. I've been a DER for about 17 years. Been in this business for 40 years this year.
So you know suffering long term.
Suffering long term is familiar. And so, like I said, I've been a DER for 17 years and kind of noticed that there was a pain point in the process between facilitating communication between the MRO or an engineering company and the DER. And you know, these MROs
you mean it's not flawless and works great all the time?
You know, it's not. And
destroying all my illusions at once.
Well, an email isn't as secure as it used to be.
Oh, howdy. Yep.
And so, you know, we've got these MROs that spend 100 man hours or more working on an engineering drawing, and then they attach it to an email and hit send to a DER, and that never seemed like a very smart thing to do.
No.
So we created an electronic cloud-based platform at Aero Documents to where the MRO and the DER can communicate securely. We built the platform on a HIPAA-compliant base, so it's secure. And the review process and the markup process for the drawings occurs in the platform. And so you don't have to email things. The only email that ever happens is a notification or an email with a link to the drawing that the DER needs to look at.
Okay.
If the DER adds comments to it, then the MRO engineer gets a notification that he has something new to look at. So it's that volley that goes back and forth. And then when the drawing is done, the DER gets a notification that the final drawing is available. He can complete his FAA Form 8110-3, his approval, and it goes in a locked folder until the client pays for it, and then they can download their 8110. So there's no more invoicing for the DER, there's no more accounts payable issues. It's the transaction's finished. The DER has his money within a day, and the MRO has their approval.
It sounds too simple. What's the catch?
Well, I spent about 4 years working on trying to find the right platform. And I ended up finding a really, really bright young aerospace engineer who, a fairly recent grad out of Missouri State, out of Missouri S&T Tech out of Rolla, Missouri. He got out of school as an aerospace engineer, but found jobs doing web development.
Okay.
And so the good news for us is we created the back end from scratch. So if a client has a particular need, or they need, hey, we don't need to communicate with DERs right now, we need to communicate internally with our drawings, our drawing review process, then we have the ability to tweak the back end so that it can be specialized for each client.
Well, obviously this comes from your experience in the industry and probably a lot of your frustrations with the industry.
Right.
Give us a real world scenario on how this would be utilized. I'm XYZ aircraft manufacturing par excellence.
Right.
And I'm coming to you with a problem.
So
how do you handle it?
So an avionics shop, like one of the attendees here,
okay,
is working on, maybe they're installing a ADS-B STC in a King Air.
Okay.
And but the particular airplane they're working on,
that job isn't done until the paperwork outweighs the King Air.
That's exactly right. And so the STC paperwork doesn't apply perfectly to the King Air that they're modifying. So they need to do a deviation drawing. So they do a deviation drawing. Well, then that deviation drawing needs to be DER approved.
Okay.
So they would go to Aero Documents. If they don't have a DER, we have DER profiles on the platform. So they can go, and we actually, as they're logging in, we say, do you have a DER that you want to use, or do you want to use the platform to find one? if they have their own DER that they want to use, they can send the DER a link and say, hey, we're opening this project in Aero Documents, and we need you to look at this drawing.
Okay.
And once the DER review process goes back and forth, the DER gives comments, the MRO changes their drawing or updates their drawing. When that process is done, then they would release the drawing. And there's a process within Aero Documents to release the drawing. We can put a watermark on it that says it's now the final version.
Okay.
And each of the old versions is kept on the platform for history. So if you say, the MRO engineer says, oh my gosh, my computer crashed, I lost the last version I did, it'll be secure on the platform.
Oh, gotta like that. One of the things I learned, I have a pretty extensive background in the test flying community.
Okay.
So I work off and on as a consultant to various projects, and we did a whole bunch of this, go fly that, and you watch the paper trail, you watch what they do, but more important, when it's all done, there's some guy, big money guy, big government guy, big this, big that, who needs to audit what you did.
Right.
How's the audit trail in something like this?
So it's great. You can actually see each of the revisions that were marked up, and then when you do release the drawing, we'll have the opportunity for the source file, let's call it AutoCAD or Word or whatever, to be linked with the PDF. So there'll be a matched set, if you will, of data that can be archived. And so that'll give a very dedicated, very defined audit trail.
Well, that's got to be a blessing to a lot of people. The ultimate or inevitable audit has been
Right.
the death of many a project,
Right.
especially when it comes down to, it's time to get paid or it's time to get certified.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
we need to go back.
And one of the other things that we've found, and from a real world perspective, is as you're doing these projects and you're getting emails, an engineer sends you an email. Well, I don't just get one email a day, right? So, so historically, you get an email, well, you miss it, and it says, so now you're searching back through the emails to find that one version of that one drawing.
Oh boy.
So that you can make sure that you review, the latest version, and now you don't have to do that. You don't have to go search through a bunch of emails. It's all on the platform.
Let me put you on the spot a little bit here. This is technically a replacement for paperwork per se.
It
But
is.
does it simplify the process?
We think it does.
Okay.
And the reason we think it does is for one of the things I just explained. You're not searching through emails. You're not having to change the file name. Oh, I need to add an underscore V3 now to the file name because I just reviewed it again. All of the file name, you don't have to change the file name. The file name gets appended within the platform. So yeah, we think it does. The ability to kind of see what's on your radar and not have to search through a bunch of old emails and worry about changing file names and sending some email to the wrong person with your intellectual property attached. Some things like that that I know for a fact has happened and have seen it happen. So yeah, we think we've simplified the process.
Now, is this program available now?
We just launched it about 3 days ago.
Oh, congratulations!
So we have an electrical systems DER on the platform, which is me. We have a structures DER on the platform now.
Okay.
And so I would say we're past the beta phase, but we're kind of in the crawl, walk, run phase. So everything works, and we're pleased with the technical capabilities of the system. But we know we're gonna continue to upgrade and continue to tweak. And so, but yeah, it's available now at www.aerodocuments.com.
That was my next question, is where people can find out some information.
Yep.
Are you using AWS as a backbone or an equivalent?
Google
Okay.
is the Google Files
Yep.
is where things get stored.
Okay.
And just real quick, so for AEA, this kind of a special, if you will.
Oh, go for it.
The Structures DER and myself have offered, if you sign up in June, we've offered a $99 8110-3
Okay.
for either structures or electrical systems for assisting an MRO in a major alteration. So we're happy to offer that if you sign up, and there's no cost to sign up. It's transactional fee only.
Okay.
So yeah, we're offering $99.
And I assume this is platform agnostic if you're Windows or
yeah, we don't care.
Mac. Yeah.
Nope, it's platform agnostic, and
Okay.
we're just ready to move it forward. So
How's the reception initially? I know you've got 3 days of this, and maybe that's unfair, but I'm just curious what kind of comments you're getting from people.
well,
It kind of sounds to me like people, once they get this, are kind of going to go, oh, please.
yeah, it's been really good. I mean, everybody's got a lot on their plate. There was near record attendance here yesterday, and so everybody's got a lot. They're absorbing a lot. But like I said, this is really new for us. So we just wanted to get a little bit of exposure, but the reception's really good. The common response is, I can't believe it took this long for somebody to improve the process.
There you go.
So yeah, so I appreciate your time. Appreciate being able to be here.
It's interesting. You kind of many years ago when A&M was created, our excuse was we got tired of killing new trees with old news. And to a certain extent, you are now saving the rainforest once again with using the cloud and so forth. It sounds. See, the biggest problem with aviation, the thing that scares people away, is they consider every aspect of aviation to be this overtly complicated industry process, language, secret handshakes, and what have you. And the more that we can build systems that simplify, especially when it comes to the ultimate prove it, audit,
right,
what have you, the better off we are. So what little you told me the other day before we invited you on sounded frankly like manna from heaven to some of the folks that I know and work with. I was on the board of a cargo airline some years ago, and remember some of the paperwork issues there and some of the things, and even discussion of, this would be so much easier if we did it this way or that way. Yep. I can't wait to see it in action. What we got to do when we come back this time next year, you got to tell me how you're doing.
That sounds great.
More important, what you've learned.
Right.
I will bet you the learning curve on this is going to be absolutely amazing.
We're actually going to go, I'm going to go right now. We've got some demos we're going to do with some industry experts.
Excellent.
And we're going to take some feedback, and that's exactly why we're here. So.
Alrighty, and that's aerodocuments.com?
www.aerodocuments.com, and like I said, if you're an MRO, there's a $99 8110-3 special this month.
And $99 in aviation terms is like 2 pennies.
Yeah, it's. I won't tell you what I normally charge, but it's not anywhere near $99.
Yeah, I've been around some of that and just realizing I'm in the wrong business. There you go.
Well,
Alrighty,
thank you
folks.
for your time.
Aero-News Network's coverage of the 64th Annual AEA International Convention and Trade Show, live from Dallas, Texas, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.